You've probably heard this advice 100 times. Delay Social Security as long as possible. It grows at 8% a year, and on paper, it sounds like a no-brainer, right? But here's what most retirees never hear. To delay that Social Security, you usually have to draw down your 401k or other savings in order to fill that income gap. That means you're spending your own money, taxable money, just so you can collect a slightly bigger check later on. And the question isn't whether that check is going to be bigger, it's going to be. But it's whether that decision leaves you with more total income after taxes, inflation, and those market swings that you're going to see over your 30 or 40-year retirement. Because what looks smart on a spreadsheet can quietly cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost growth, higher taxes, and just reduced flexibility if it's not planned the right way. Hi, I'm Mark Wisniewski, president of Southern Incomes. And one of the biggest questions I hear from clients in their 60s is this: should I delay Social Security and live off my 401k in the meantime? In this video, I'll show you what really happens when you do that, why it can be a smart move in some cases, but very, very dangerous in others, and how the wealthiest retirees make this decision strategically, not emotionally. If you find this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you'd like help building your own Social Security and income plan, go ahead and book a time with me using the link in the description below. Part 1, why so many people delay Social Security. Let's start with the logic behind delaying. Every year you postpone taking Social Security past your full retirement age all the way up to age 70, that lets your benefit grow by roughly 8% per year. That sounds incredible. After all, there's no investment that is going to guarantee you 8% risk-free return, right? So many people think, I'll just live off my 401k until 70 and I'm going to lock in that higher check. It is a reasonable idea, but like many things in retirement, the math depends on what you're using to fund that delay and how you're going to manage the taxes along the way. Because that bridge between retirement and age 70, it's not free. If you're using your 401k to live on, what are you doing? You're trading tax-deferred dollars for a higher Social Security benefit check. And those trade-offs don't always balance out the way that you expect them to. Part 2, what really happens when you draw down your 401k. Let's break it down step by step. When you retire at, say, 62 or 63, and you delay your Social Security, you're going to need income to live on. So you start taking withdrawals from your 401k or IRA or maybe some rollover accounts that you have. But here's what's happening behind the curtain. 1, you're spending tax-deferred dollars. Those withdrawals count as ordinary income. So even if you don't have a paycheck anymore, guess what? You're still paying income tax, possibly at higher rates than you think. If you pull, say, $80,000 a year for 8 years, you're generating more than $600,000 of taxable income before you even claim your very first Social Security check. That might push you in the higher tax brackets, increase your Medicare IRMAA premiums, or cause your future Social Security to be taxed at up to 85%. 2, you're reducing your future growth potential. Every dollar you spend today is a dollar that can't compound for you later on. If you withdraw that $80,000 a year for 8 years, it's over $500,000 withdrawn, plus the growth those dollars could have earned if they could have stayed invested. Meanwhile, yes, your Social Security benefit check grows at 8% annually, but you need to know that that increase only applies to your monthly check, not to compounding investment balances. 3, you're increasing your sequence of return risk. If the markets decline early in your retirement, while you're drawing from your 401k, you lock in losses that can easily permanently reduce your portfolio's long-term value. We show people that effect on their numbers every single day. It's called sequence of return risk, and it's one of the biggest dangers early retirees face. You might think you're buying time for a higher Social Security check, but in reality, you're draining the very account that has to support you for the rest of your life. Part 3, the hidden tax trap. Here's the part most people miss. By pulling from your 401k early, you could actually raise your lifetime tax bill, even if your tax rate looks lower today. That's because your withdrawals are going to affect everything else in your plan. For instance, they're going to determine how much of your Social Security is going to be taxed later on. They can push you over the Medicare IRMAA thresholds, adding hundreds of dollars to your premiums. And they can shrink your tax bracket flexibility once those RMDs begin at age 73, when you need it most. In other words, what looked like a smart delay might just wind up shifting taxes from one pocket to another without really reducing the total. And the wealthy know this. That's why they approach Social Security timing as really part of a bigger income sequence, not just a one standalone decision. Part 4, how the wealthy bridge the gap intelligently. Let's look at how higher net worth retirees handle this question differently. They don't just say, I'm delaying Social Security no matter what. No, they say, how do I bridge that gap in a way that keeps my taxes lower, my portfolio healthy, and my income steady? Here's 3 smart ways that they do it. Number 1, use tax-efficient buckets. Instead of draining your 401k first, no, they draw from a mix of cash savings, taxable brokerage accounts, and Roth IRAs depending on the year. That gives them control over how much taxable income they create each and every year, letting them stay under certain tax thresholds. 2, fill lower tax brackets with purpose. If their income drops after retirement, they intentionally fill those lower tax brackets with modest 401k withdrawals or Roth conversions. That helps them reduce future RMDs, and it smooths out taxes over time instead of just stacking them up all at once they're in their 70s. 3, delay strategically, not emotionally. The wealthy often delay Social Security for one spouse, not for both. That way, they still have some guaranteed income coming in while the higher benefit continues to grow for the survivor. This hybrid approach gives them balance, some income now, and more later on, without draining too much from investments early on in the process. Part 5, a real-world example. Let's compare 2 couples, Jim and Carol and David and Laura. Both are 62, retired, and they have $1 million in their 401ks. Jim and Carol decide they're going to delay Social Security all the way out to age 70. They withdraw $70,000 a year from their 401ks to cover their expenses. By 70, they've spent over $560,000. And because of some early market volatility, their portfolio is down to about $400,000. Yes, they now receive $4,000 a month in Social Security checks each, but their tax-deferred balance is much, much smaller, and their flexibility, it's gone. David and Laura take a different approach. They start with one Social Security benefit at 65. That's going to give them about $2,500 a month. And they're going to cover the rest of their gap with smaller intentional 401k withdrawals and a mix of Roth conversions. By 70, they still have $800,000 invested. Much of it is now in Roth accounts due to conversions, and their lifetime tax bill is about $150,000 lower than Jim and Carol's was. How can that be? Both couples followed good advice, but only one had it in a coordinated income strategy. Part 6. The real question is not when, it's how. Delaying Social Security isn't automatically right or wrong. It depends on how you're going to fill that income gap. If your bridge is built with tax-inefficient withdrawals, you could drain your savings and inflate your taxes just to buy a slightly larger check later on in retirement. But if your bridge is built strategically, balancing withdrawals, conversions, and timing, you can create a smoother, more efficient income plan that lasts longer and is going to cost much less in taxes. The wealthy understand this. It's not about maximizing what your Social Security benefit check is going to be. It is about maximizing your after-tax lifetime income. If you're between 55 and 70 and you're trying to decide when to take Social Security or how you're going to fund your gap years, this decision is too important to just take a guess on. I help clients every day run the math, coordinate withdrawals, and build tax-smart retirement income plans designed to last. If you'd like to see how to make this decision the right way for your situation, book a call with me using the link in the description below. Let's make sure your Social Security and your savings are all working together and not against each other.